So, sacred relic carved into the shape of a flower. It seems to represent a terrifying presence that unfurls like a bloom. Ooh. Just did it. Just did it. Oh, okay. Let's see. Those were the days when the sinners had yet to commit their unforgivable offense, somewhere deep within the earthly subterranean kingdom. Oh, yeah. Imaginary theater. The people of the kingdom have never seen the sea, nor have they ever seen the real sun. But even in this dark, sunless place, some try to reach for the secrets of the stars. However, they gazed not at the stars, but sought the truth in a mirror's false reflection. So, Conria. This is pre-cataclysm Conria. Does lunar mode give you more primos? That's all I need to know. If it doesn't, I'm not gonna bother doing it. Takes place in past con before yeah, 200 only one pool and one elixir. Is it like really tough and shit? It does, yeah. Especially with the new, I guess, update, like uncapping the resin, so it's like 3 claims every time now, so that's real helpful. Perhaps because of the kingdom's unique location, strange phenomena often appeared in the star charts within its bounds. These phenomena were recorded by astrologers as signs of truth, reflecting their deep desire to uncover truth. Maybe, even if the mirror shows nothing but illusions, it is only by piercing through them can we reach the truth. This was the conclusion the astrologers reached over time as they pored over their voluminous star charts. But unbeknownst to the philosophers of their time, they had already glimpsed a tiny fragment of the infinity that was the eternal bedeviled sky. But you gotta hit the character check first? Yeah? I'm not gonna lie to y'all, part of me's thinking that I wonder if Genshin would just feel more chill if I just dump the end game, you know what I mean? Cause like it's a cycle of endgame every like 3 weeks or something, and then all I'm using my character to do really is to farm artifacts, which kind of clears it in a few seconds anyway. So, I don't know. I'm really not feeling like spending any more on gachas than I really need to. It's a real waste of money. I even say it for Genshin at this point. It's really wasteful. Maybe the bear shows nothing but illusions. Oh, sky. Humans are charged with the final recorded by sound of truth. Okay, so Conrian astrologists seemed to have a glimpse of beyond the fake sky through Strange phenomena in the sky. Go FTP like most people? Yeah, I mean, because I'm just really thinking about it. There's this story boss content. It's not really that hard. Most story content gives you like a trial, not just like casual stuff. You don't really need to pull like a C3 and then R1 and stuff for casual. Like that's the whole point. I've been thinking more about like people kind of just say, "Oh, pull who you like, pull who you like." It's not really gonna work, especially recent times. It doesn't really work, you know. You pull who you like, but if they don't synergize with anyone, you gotta pull someone else that you don't like, and then it spirals into this whole thing. Nah. Nah. Many years passed, long enough for the earthly gods to fall, one by one, and for the true sun to rise where the crimson moon once hung. Yeah, so I'm kind of gonna try to limit myself to, I guess, because I really don't want to buy the BP anymore. It's like £10. And just not really feeling like pulling weapons either. Well, an effort, but he works fine. But he's probably gonna fall next patch since the ley lines cater towards. Yeah, exactly. But if you don't do the end game, there's no ley lines to worry about. Capiche? Hmm? Even then, there were those who had already uncovered the secret behind the great sin, and so the study of the stars became a forbidden pursuit. Only a select few within the kingdom. What the fuck? Only a select few within the kingdom were then granted the privilege of sidestepping the ban, so they might better serve their one-eyed ruler. King Ermin, I'm gonna guess. You doesn't look at synergy at all. Yeah, I could. I totally could. Use a pedal on the ghost volume and then do it for the secret divine great sin. So study of stars being a forbidden pursuit. Yeah, I just think it's really much healthier this way. Because like, God, not to insult Mihoyo and their work, but gachas in general, I don't care how generous it is. It's still aiming to be as predatory to milk us of a few bucks as they can, so there's a reason why I'm looking so much forwards to stuff like Do a Night Abyss and rooting for Ananta. You know? Like, there's no pressure to do anything if you just don't have to pay. If you don't have to, you know. It's just cosmetic stuffs now, isn't it? You know, you don't have to always think about logging in and, oh look, there's a daily commission here, there's a daily commission there. Ooh. I mean, for Genshin, for Genshin, I'll be honest, the daily stuff is really simple. You just condense, your dailies are done. I don't remember when's the last time I really bothered to do like a proper commission, you know, go to the spot on the map. That shit felt like so long ago. I haven't bothered. I haven't bothered to do like most of Natlan commissions ever since encounter points became a thing. But like, it still wants you to log in, right? That's the thing. Skipping Flint's for never because it's really location. Yeah. Like, personally, I don't like the fact that I have to skip characters and focus more on, like, you know, shit like actually practicality and stuff like that. But with games like these, it's just that way, man. It's just that way. Those aren't really like, sorry if I'm rambling, but since yesterday's post, I feel like a lot's off my shoulders. So I can kind of vent my frustrations I've had for a while a bit. Made sense of pursuit. Okay. Practically, I don't know what that means. If someone who pulls Siege Wing just because. Siege Wing. Cutie pie. Cutie pie Siege Wing. Cute rabbit. Rabbit. Not really. Well, it's Melazine. Melazines are almost rabbit. Okay. Then the study of the real sky was banned around the time the crimson moon fell. Yet the unexpected always finds a way, just like the moment when the unwitting novice monk brushes away the dust that concealed Apaush's mirror. Who? Unveiling the wondrous light that encircles the distant horizon and filling that tiny stargazing chamber with brilliance once more. How beautiful the pitch-black Elysium is, how dazzling, and yet how utterly profane. In the blink of an eye it consumed young Rothavangi's every thought and desire. Thus began the tale and transgressions of the mad monk, who in later days would sing the praises of the abyss beyond the heavens. Oh, so is this like the birth of the first worshipper within Conria? Sounds more like he was corrupted. Or she. No. No, it doesn't say. Concealed. Apaush's mirror. Named Rothavangi. Rothavangi? 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 Okay. I need to... A monk named Rothavangi was corrupted after seeing Apaush's... I don't know if this Apaush's mirror is like an actual thing or like a metaphor. Apaush's mirror, and this is seemingly where the worship and obsession for the abyss in Conria began. Okay, this is the flower. We got 4 more pieces to go through. Next would be the feather. I'm gonna guess you said I'm very interested with the. Isn't the oasis tree also called a Palsha? I can look it up with the power of the internet. Palsha Genshin. The sign of a Palsha. Oh, it has shown up before. The sign of a Palsha is a celestial mark that manifests above. Oh, not the oasis tree. It's this place. Oh god, that was ages ago. This thing's got a Palsha. The fake sky. Ah, yeah. It's more like that Ralph the monk guy was kind of beckoned to his thing. That manifests above harvestable. Oh, sorry. In response to the weakening of its seal, defined that there's a corruption in the area. Persuade dark hole in the sky, more like a reflection of the abyss. Okay, the mirror might be like a might not be like a real mirror at all then. The Dari called it the sign of truth. Yeah, because makes sense. Believing it revealed reality beyond the signs of gods. Sign first after Cataclysm. The Pari worked together for the forebears of the Order of Skeptics to extinguish it. It became the Order's for yeah, okay. Cool. A Paul shot. Has appeared before in the form of an abyssal rift / tear above the magic tree. Harvest token. I can't type that. Magic tree in Sumeru that was sealed away by the Pari and the Order of Skeptics. What's actually what they're called? Literally skeptics. When Columbina mentions Moon's reflections, perhaps. Oh, good call, yeah. Cause she does go on a bit about reflections and shit. Like I'm really starting to think it wasn't like a mirror at all. It was like a portal or something. Okay, so it drove this poor lad mad. So that's a that's sad. Oh my god, purple gooey shit. Ah! The truth of the universe. Oh! I must investigate. I must corrupt my entire kingdom. Lovely that. A feather accessory once worn on a felt hat. It seems out of place among the nobles of Snezhnaya and their taste of splendor. So these things are Snezhnayan accessories then. Huh. Have you done the quest in the nothing place? I don't think I have. I remember someone brought it up in... It's the quest is here, right? On this island. I remember someone brought it up on the last stream. Because I haven't done that yet. That's actually one of the stuff I wanted to do in today's stream. Nothing passage. The nothing passage. Oh yeah, then yeah. No, I haven't done it yet. Also, hey Ertl. Hello. We will do that later. I just want to finish reading the artifacts first. Hey, hello, hello, hello. Nice to have you. Okay. To overstep the bounds of one's station is already less I don't know my French. And to delve into forbidden dark knowledge is an even graver offense. But the Rothvangi, I'll call him Rothvangi. Rothvangi never once defended himself, for in his heart he held nothing but that light. Yeah? Okay, we'll start right off with that one then. Soon the court delivered its verdict that the Hydro Archon is to be wrong. The research was to be expelled from the Universitas Magistrorum in exile. For one of outland stock like him, exile was even more terrifying than the punishment of death. Exile was, after all, an ancient curse for those who had turned their backs on the gods, and once they returned above ground, that malison would catch up with them swiftly. A punishment like this was itself already a betrayal of the kingdom's noble ideals, a sign that the underground realm was in decline. Okay, so the Conran blokes, the higher up guys, found out he was like, woo, abyss, and exiled him. Yeah. Roth. Like, okay, I'm just gonna write it in my way because it helps me remember stuff better. Rothvangi was caught doing the abyssal sussy shit by the higher ups of Conria and sentenced into exile. Brackets skill issue question mark. Right. So it didn't, of course, didn't happen overnight, but Curse of the Wilderness. But royal orders have to be obeyed. Besides, he who had a glimpse of Elysium's depths knew all too well. So they're calling it Elysium. All too well. Fade away, O meaningless life. At least you glimpsed truth. It, if for but one moment. Rothvangi finally emerged from the cavern, stepping into real sunlight. Can never do that. I can never do that. Touch grass. Yet nothing happened to him, unlike the others beside him, who now shrieked in agony. Yeah. It was as if the great existence of the cosmos has manifested before him in that instant, and chosen above all others to bestow upon him the grace of darkness. Fortunately, tragically, he finally came to realize his mission. Flames illuminate the world, but they are also what reduces to ashes. And my fate is like that of a moth leaping into the flame. Yeah, dude. Maybe we'll read the sword too. What happened to him was shrieked in agony. Okay. So it's like he was chosen and saved by the abyss. Upon Rothvangi's exile with others seemingly sentenced to death, he was saved by the abyss and chosen by it. Because it kind of sounded like he and some other folks were sentenced on like an execution. Momofe. Hey, hello, hey Momofe. Okay, this one was a short one. Not sure what else I can take from this. Okay, now this is the timepiece. The timepiece. The timepiece. The one piece. Timepiece. Or I'll just write Sam's fucking fun tail. Okay. Revelations told. What is this actually? An exquisite chiming clock driven by a mysterious power. It does not seem that timekeeping is its purpose. What the fuck does it do then? Is it a timer for the kitchen? You know, that'd be kind of handy. Cooking? You know, you set a timer, and then it goes when it's done. When cooking's done. Is it not? It's probably not that. It was a time before the dark disaster engulfed the nations, a time when people still savored those last golden years. It is said that there was an erudite and a gifted researcher who wandered the nations for many years. He had already read every ritualist's chronicle, browsed the libraries of the northern lands. However, even after researching the oldest records, he could not find what he was looking for. The pitch-black Elysium. Miraculous. Not of this world. Yes, it keeps calling the abyss Elysium in these texts, which I find really interesting. Why is that? He had traveled to every corner of the known world, save for that barren, still undeveloped land. That was the northern border known as Nod-Krai. Before that, this was like ages ago, so yeah, so probably before Wild Hunt stuff, which kind of didn't give anyone a reason to move there. How interesting. So this is way back. That was the northern borderland known as Nod-Krai. It had only been a few years ago that the Tsar of Snezhnaya ordered it to be explored and put to use. No famous researchers dwelt there, nor did it seem to contain any traces of ancient civilizations. "O futile life that I have led, this shall be my final post," he thought before setting off for Nod-Krai. "Hope may be gone, but I cannot give up now." Once more he glimpsed the truth he had long pursued. Perhaps because his new wish had finally been heard and heeded, at last he uncovered the sinful path that opened into the pitch-black Elysium. Now all that remained was for him to open the gate, one that shone in countless dreams, with his own two hands, no matter the means, and no matter the price that had to be paid. Okay, so I'm gonna take it this is still Rathvangi. This erudite / gifted researcher is Rathvangi, acting out the abyss's needs. Like, try not to take my words to heart. I have trust issues with my own deductions, because last time I tried to read the fucking finales of the Deep set, I got like pretty much everything wrong. So I mean, your boy still needs to watch those lore videos, but is the Tsar back then? Yes, yeah. The Tsar, the previous Archon, which I think was a guy. I'm not sure. But it was the previous Archon. So, okay. Rothangi. Vangi acted out on the Abyss's direction for a time to do research on Sumeruin and Shnayan archives. Unable to find records of the Abyss. I guess it's less of him directly receiving orders, it's more like he believes in this little sign he was shown, and he's following all this on a hunch. I looked what star means and it says governor, so I'm guessing yeah. So before possible Brania XP, it was a guy. Why is my thing? Oh. Yeah, the ratio for Archon genders is pretty kind of scuffed, ain't it, guys? Not to disrespect Venti, but even our favorite animal Archon is feminine enough. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, okay? Bro femboy, day one. Did I get the floating couch? Yes, I did. I got it from the mail. I mean, it's really like, fucking half and half Archon, dude Archon, lady. Oh god. Zhongli also turns into a woman in the old days when he wanted to go incognito. Yo. What? I mean, what? What? He traveled every corner of the known world. Okay. He seems to take an interest to the then barren lands of Nod-Krai and sets off for it. How do you live Beyonce's wrong? Isn't technically A and Wanderer genderless? I don't know, but don't people refer to them with genders? Yeah, so I mean, Raiden, I'm most sure of. Like, she's a she. I mean, I can get why Wanderer is kind of subjective, since like he kind of just was born as a creation. So well, regardless, they're both really pretty. A has a way with modeling puppets. It's really androids, I guess, at this point. Can you summarize the artifact so far? Can I do that after I finish reading everything? I feel a bit disjointed. I'll do it in the most Razor language I can when I'm done, yeah? He has a sentience. He just doesn't have a heart, literally. I don't know. In my heart, he does. Still one of my favorite guys. I loved his arc. Well, scare for the win. Scare for the win. And plus, we're gonna get more of him soon too. Right? Like he's supposed to have a thing here in Luna version. They tease that. Scare, please go beat the shit out of Dottore. Thank you so much. Like honestly, please. Special crafted goblet used for palace banquets. It was once employed to perform some kind of magic. Can it make primo gems? Yes, he's here to father do. He says he has old score to settle, not that kind of old score. Come on, this is the one time I can see Dottore get beat to a pulp. He deserves it. Oh shit. I think I just saw the word Fae. Unless I'm tripping. Oh, no, I saw Fae, yeah. In the rotating galleries of the Zapoliarny... Oh, wait, that's the main palace of Snezhnaya, isn't it? Zapoliarny Palace. The banquets and dances never seem to stop. The Fae nobles, fond of luxury, considered attending banquets their most important duty. Even the hardest heart could be softened by the rich aroma of fine wine. And many important affairs of state, both great and small, were often decided by those in the slightly tipsy haze. There were Fae in Snezhnaya? In the Snezhnayan government? Before? I mean, I do remember that Flynn's mentioned the phase. There were a lot of Faes around in the past, so I guess that makes sense. Under the previous star, yeah. Sorry, I must have slipped that part then. Okay, Professor Rotwang, whom the nobles called the Mad Monk, in private. It's been mentioned it's not favorite follows of the starting event. Yeah. That part I do remember. I just forgot the part that they were so deeply integrated with all of Snezhnaya. This is not because he had become the Tsar's favorite through his mastery of alchemy and astrology. Rotwang. Nor simply because he constantly uttered profound aphorisms that eventually set everyone into laughter. What truly made the nobles sit up and take notice were the legends surrounding him. It was said that the Grand Duke Photius once yeah. Out of envy, sought to get rid of this troublesome viper. He replaced the fine fire water with a deadly poison, but to his astonishment the good professor appeared completely unaffected after drinking it. In the end, the Grand Duke himself took a knee to the monk, even becoming the latter's most devoted follower. Another tale had it that Filipov, the most adept of the Fae at the art of transformation, once publicly called the professor's research nothing more than an elaborate hoax. The mad monk responded to the accusation with naught but a calm smile. Then, before everyone's eyes, he summoned the soul of Filipov's late wife, who had been appearing in the bereaved Fae's... What the fuck? These tales became a favorite topic of chatters at banquets, but whenever someone tried to confirm their truth, the professor remained silent. Perhaps no one truly cared whether these stories were true. Maybe they only existed to entertain banquet guests between songs and dances. Or perhaps, to the nobles, an outlander with no local ties was more worthy of their trust. Of course, it would have been even better if you could assist them with a few niggles. What is that? I don't know, that's a word. But how could mere actors in this drama have foreseen the tragic denouements coming? Okay. I'm gonna take it Rot Wang and Rot Vanji is the same person. Yep, it's the same person. What kind of name is Rot Wang? Okay, so he managed to kind of actually work his way into the ranks of Roth Vanji renames himself into Rotwang and managed to work his way into the Snezhnayan party to be known as a professor and a mad monk in secret. Rotwang demonstrates his powers bracket of the abyss to the then Snezhnayan Fey nobles and astonishes them. Okay, so fucking I guess the abyss kind of makes him immune to poison. It is poison, in a sense. The worst of it. Oh yeah, also, once we're done reading this passage, and in between, before we're starting the world quest, so we'll also read the sword one, we'll take a quick, like, 10 to 15 minute break, because your boy needs to quickly gobble down some lunch before I become malnourished. Crown of the Befallen. A crown modeled in the circlet worn by a sinner. Perhaps in someone's heart, love and sin flow from the same source. Yeah, I'm sure Rotwang would fucking agree. The northern wind brought new opportunities and the touch of civilization to the ancient borderlands. Where the great trees fell, cities, ports, and factories were built. But only the Tsar's favorite knew that the prosperity everyone saw was not as it seemed, and that the ruler of the Fae now hatched a bold scheme, a revolt that the sublunary order could never tolerate. But if you ask me, His Majesty the Tsar could afford to think even bigger, surely. Bound by the chains of benevolence to this earth, he has never once looked up at the stars. Such great power, and yet he only seeks to be the ruler of all living things beneath the moon. Little does he know that the true internal Elysium he seeks lies beyond the sky's veil. The mad monk, serving as the Tsar's envoy, arrived in Nod-Krai on a secret mission. Shit, he became the Tsar's envoy. Fuck. Sneaky shit. Like, he also managed to corrupt a good number of the nobles, too. Rot Wong at this point in time has advanced to the position of the Tsar's envoy. Sneaky shit. Whoever claimed the treasures hidden here would wield a power capable of turning the world upside down. However, he sought this power not to save the world, but to use it as a means to serve his own ends, because of course he does. Look at these foolish, fleeting mortals, as hopeless as this rapidly fading world of illusion. Only those like me, who have been chosen by the supreme grace, are worthy of living on. Better to find liberation and sacrifice for a greater endeavor than to remain lost in endless cycles of samsara. Reed Miller, what? Huh? Reed Miller? Reed Miller, I cast your meaningless melancholy aside. For you and I have been chosen by fate. Come, follow me. Though the world is destined for destruction, we shall emerge from the celestial shell. Now, I don't think Rot Wang is Reed Miller. I think he... I don't know if Reed Miller was faking it, but he roped, from what I understand, Reed Miller into siding with his goal, whatever he planned to do in Nod-Krai. But Reed Miller doesn't sound like a bad person. I mean, he's just like a master thief. He's a golden Roger, not... This is weird. And this just fucking left me on a cliffhanger with this one. Maybe the next few world quests will let us know a bit more about this. Rot Wong meets and seemingly gets Reed Miller onto his side during his mission. I don't know if back then, because this was still ages ago, if Reed was already that famous or not. I don't know when exactly Reed came to fame as like a Golden Roger. Who's Reed Miller's lover again? Isn't this the Giant's governor's daughter? Yeah, it is. Like, he overthrew the governor, he stole back something that the governor took from the Frostmoon Scions. And I'm gonna guess the governor doesn't approve of their relationship. That shit sounds messy, but that shit sounds very Reed Miller to me. I'ma steal your shit and steal your daughter. Hey, hey. Two treasure chests with one key. Or something like that, I don't know. Wanderer mentioned. Wait, okay, I need to make a new tab for this one. Okay, so... Purple set is sus as hell. I don't know what this one might... This one might be about the Scions, I'm gonna guess. By the color scheme. Silken or moons. Moons. The moon. Moon's Serenade. This would be the flower. I don't think it was the Shenzhen governor, more like a town. Oh yeah, not. It was just a corrupt governor somewhere. Might have been in Nod-Krai, close to Nod-Krai, because I think he operates mainly in Nod-Krai. I'm not sure. Oh, well, someone like Reed Miller sounds like they likely have journeys all across Tevat. Crystal Tear of the Wanderer, an immaculate flower whose beauty is said to have been preserved for eternity by the icy wind. Yeah? Oh shit. That was a time when the gentle frost light still lingered, a silver mirror unbroken, even as the golden realm had already fallen. In a single night, the glorious golden tower fell like a fig tree. Across the frozen northern plain, from the holy citadel to the ancient capital, dark blue crystal nails annihilated every last city with even the most minuscule sign of life. The nails, yeah. The once praised apostle and the god's first messenger both vanished in the catastrophe. Those who survived by grace of being nowhere near the cities at the time could only cling to life amidst the freezing wind and snow. With no refuge left to them, they simply waited for destruction to find them in the hollow dark. This is the great extinction spoken of in later prayers. Halcyon's prosperity turned to dust, and the gods remained silent, unmoved by cries, curses, or reproach. In the despair of that long night, only one celestial ruler shed tears for the mortal's pain. She was the mistress of the frost moon, queen of the celestial chariot of the light, a heavenly agent whose origin was one with that of the world. Moved by pity and a deeper unspoken wish, she heeded the survivors' prayers. According to legend, she spun gleaming threads from the silver glow to lead the displaced across the frozen plains, and where her tears, full of longing, fell upon the frost-covered soil of the far north, they blossomed into lilies that would stand eternal in the icy winds. The profound descendant of Hyperborea called themselves the Frost Moon Scions for this reason, to honor the divinity who, whatever her original intent, gave them a new lease on life. Ah, okay. And this is the previous Moon Maiden. This is the one before Columbina. No wonder people wanted her back so badly. She was their saving grace. And yeah, I was right when reading in the artifacts before. The Golden City is Snezhnaya pre-Celestial Nail. So I was at least right with something. Right, okay. Okay. This one can be dumbed down a bit easily. So the flower is pre-nail Snezhnaya Golden City is annihilated to shit by the celestial nails, because you know them up there is a bitch. With the only survivors of those Snezhnayans on the outskirts that were freezing and starving to death. Oh, Ren, I hear you on that, but Hyperborea is like close or in Snezhnaya, presumably. So my guess kinda counts. Kinda counts. It's close, I suppose. I think is that something mentioned in the hymn of the north, the far north? Is well, I think that might have been. Oh shit! Hang on, give me a second. I was planning to. I want to read the hymn of the far north, but we don't have the last volume yet, so we'll read it when I manage to get to rank 5. Rep on Hisi Island. On that note, I'm really wondering, like, how's the rest of that gonna work? Cause we have characters like Yehoda, of course, Nefer. Like, it would make sense for them to be like assigned to a place. But then we will have characters like Varka, Alice, Nicole. Like why would they be assigned like a mini region of Nod-Krai, you know, as the rep system? They're not exactly locals. What would they even be like assigned to? Because with the way it looks, every like major fight, not even 5-star, because I know Occupy is the main island. Oh yeah, actually that makes sense. So yeah, I don't know how they're gonna divide it. Until Luna 4 is Columbia or Columbia. Limited Nod-Krai natives. Expansions of previous region. Hopefully. Imagine if Varka comes out and then we get a fucking meeting point for Mondstadt. Wouldn't that be nice? But at this point, how likely do you think it is that we'll even get a Mondstadt expansion? You know, the only expansion we've gotten for Mondstadt in the course of ever since Dragonspine is the weekly boss. Well, if you've signed to the flagship, that doesn't sound the most out-of-pocket assumption. Yeah, we don't have Dormanpor. We don't have like. There's another, I think, mini place. There's another space in Mondstadt as well, I believe. Can't remember the name. Yeah, we've been wanting Dormanpor for ages. It's just not here. Did they think Dormanpor is not interesting enough to be added? Because I'm gonna be real with you. Hopefully, I don't know how long this time the Archon quest is gonna be, because they seem to be doing a lot. Because if the Archon quest lasts until we get to, say, Lantern, right? Because usually they always bring an expansion in Lantern, right? And I'm hoping this time it's more of a no Liyue hate, by the way. It's more of a sub-region expansion, kind of like Enkanomiya, that doesn't really have much to do with Liyue. You know what I mean? Because otherwise it's just gonna be another Liyue mini expansion. Which I don't have the biggest issue with, but, you know, give some other regions some love, you know? Just saying. Some other regions needs love too. Especially Mondstadt, like desperately Mondstadt at this point. Decided to save these. And the survivors henceforth settled in Nod-Krai and became the Frost Moon Scions. Oh, get Guruba. Sorry, go to China #1. China is #1. Liyue, let's go! Liyue glaze that Liyue. I want Mon Essus, especially with how close it is to Nod-Krai. Yeah, cause like yo, as pretty as Nod-Krai is, because it is very pretty. Like you see this shit, it just fucking brings me to tears, yo. The geography of our map right now is so whacked. You see this shit, bro? It's kind of whack. It's kind of whack. Y'all still remember when we had that ditto-shaped hole between Fontaine and fucking Sumer? And now we have an even more disorganized thing. It does, like, you don't feel it when you're just journeying through the regions and shit. But like when you open the map and yeah, it's like, yeah, it's not the most organized. Cause like, what's gonna go here, you know? What's gonna be here? What's gonna be? It's such an awkward space. Also, by the way, that anecdote when Yanfei visited Llama here, I ran into them that other day. That shit was kind of funny. I like that interaction. I didn't even. It was really interesting. It's the deer ladies. Plus, Ghost Time brought this to my attention, as well as me hearing about it myself from Yanfei's other anecdotes. Don't know if this will ever come into play, but Yanfei mentioned something about an adeptus related to the moon. Which initially I thought Moon Carver, but the description didn't match. So I'm kind of sus about that. Is that the name? Ah, yeah, it is. Shit. Yeah, see, some of you are more versed than me. I applaud you. Moon Carver and Llama interaction when? Oh yeah. That thing was still so nice though. immaculate feather accessory said to have been forged by the first moon chanter herself. Oh, real shit. That was a time when Frost's gentle light had long shattered like a silver mirror. But when the new moon had yet to rise, this is the story of two sisters who, born defective products, were never meant to be blessed. What does that mean? That sounds so depressing. In the moonlight, an undisturbed sanctuary for strangers, the fragile souls shared a single breath. In the brief moments between agonies, moments that should have been filled with joy, they huddled together, drawing what little warmth they could from each other. They had never seen their parents, and nor had they ever heard the wind whispering through the groves. The two of them had only their grandmother, and the only way they'd seen the world was through the pages of a faded storybook. Its brittle, yellowed pages, torn and tattered, revealed to them a world they'd never seen. There it was, a single white bird, a streak of grace, gliding beneath a perfect moon. As they admired the free creatures of the fairy tales, the two children made a promise to each other. One day, the two of them would fly together like the white birds in the vast sky. You would need wind glider permits for that, but, you know, sure, go crazy. Yeah, like, I know that they would do their research, but especially since I've had a chat with one of the animators, actually, I feel so blessed with that interaction, by the way. In Discord, the one that worked on Elemental Warfare, I had a chat with him in the VC. Like, Mihoyo obviously pays and commissions them to do this and would give them, like, I guess, directions and inputs on what to kind of follow along with. So I'm a guess they really kind of... No. One of the other animators. From what I know, Notablis, according to that animator, works more on, like, rendering the final renders, while the person I talked with was more in charge of, like, the backbone animation for several shots and stuff, because there's multiple that is in charge of that specific part before it goes into proper rendering. So that was still such a cool chat. It was like I was talking to a celebrity. Super. No, not them. Not themselves. No. It was just an animator. No. I don't know if, like, Subotai actually manages the. Yeah. But it was an animator. But it was cool enough. Yo, to me, that shit was dope. Meeting someone like that, she was cool. But yeah, like, since all these projects are funded, I'd imagine, especially for, like, something like that Moonlit Bamboo Forest, Mihoyo gave a lot of inputs from the lore, you know? Which is why it's really accurate with in-game content and all that. Since the day we were born, it's always just been the two of us. When the day comes for us to leave, let's live the rest of our lives together. Many years later, one of them broke their promise, leaving for a faraway place alone. But alas, this was no flight towards a brighter future, but a fall into a much darker night. Oh, maybe. With her went half the dream, and half the pain meant for them both. Oh, Isla. It's the lady from that first creeped on us through the mirror during the Maite quest with the crabs. and then met us again properly as Isla at the end when we got the sword. That Isla, she had a she had a sister who left for a faraway place. Began to endure twice the torment from that day on. So he lied to me all along as well, my older sister. The only one I truly ever trusted. But I won't resent you. I have long lost hope for the sky beyond. Damn. Mighty quest with the crab sounds so fun. No, it's Maite. I don't know what the pronunciation is. Not mighty. Mighty with the crab. Mighty. What are you doing, Mighty? We're supposed to be on the flame chase journey. I'm fighting a fucking crab in a cave. Yeah, no. That'll be funny, but no. And honestly, if you put Mighty up with the local legend crab, yo, that I will feel bad for the crab, because like if you compare HSR power scaling canon with Genshin, we can just call it a day and everyone in Genshin gets fucking wiped to shit. Like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, bro. Like, Genshin gets cleared easily by HSR people. There's no competition. There's none. Them folks in Genshin, even the shades, will barely hold a candle to the shit in Star Rail they get up to. So, yeah, nah, fam. I feel very bad for the crab. Okay. So, the feather. Feather tells us about the past of Isla. Interesting line. Isla and her older sister were raised by only their grandmother and promised to live their future together. Years later, the older sister broke the promise to, quote, leave for a faraway place alone. Since then, Isla, up until her parting, Isla has been tormented by her decision. That feels sad though. Why did she do that? What was important that she needed to leave Isla behind? Of course, Isla then became the first moon chanter. Yeah. So that's the feather. That's a really sad feather. I mean, it ain't called a feather of death for no reason. It's the death of sibling bond. Okay, what's this? It's the sands, which is an immaculate timepiece that long ago ceased turning, along with the delusions of its former owner. Oh, damn. Okay. Sands. Whoop, whoop. That was a time when Frost's gentle light had long shattered like a silver mirror. But when the new moon had yet to rise, It was then that the great plan, carried out through the countless generations since the time of extinction, was on the verge of culmination. Oops, here from the original Honkai Impact 3, but Honkai Impact is also a canon game in Ages apart. Yeah, it's... I guess all you need to know is just HSR scaling is really fucking nuts. Shit's scary, yo. Like, from what I read, someone like Evernight can apparently take down, like, Finan. Or something. The bloodline, purified for over 1,000 years, would at last give birth to the chosen one destined to reign over Elysium. The false sevenhood, sevenfold radiance of the high heavens would fall at her feet, and the bones of the earth would rise to follow her. From her would spring union with the world, and from her would the first great cause be rebuilt. That was the sacrosanct duty. Sacrosanct? That's a word? Yeah. That was the sacrosanct duty that had been passed down to the daughter of the far north. So it should have been. So it should have been. But on a moonless, snowbound night, the girl chosen to bear the sacred heir met the boy from the northern realm. And in his eyes, as clear as a winter's day, she beheld a reflection of a self she had never known. This unfamiliar stirring was enough to make the holy woman turn her back on destiny for that young officer from afar. For this new feeling, this foolishness called love, she cut off her blood-stained antler crown and cast it down upon the snowy earth. The fallen one, who had betrayed her own people, ultimately failed to fulfill her destined duty. She was captured by a spy sent by the Mad Monk, and was soon to be returned to the homeland she was meant to love. But as she looked down at the officer by her feet, crimson pooling beneath... No... They killed him for loving her and her loving him. No. Oh, she... And she killed herself. But... okay, but it sounded like Rot Wang had... What the fuck? What was this first part, actually? Like, is it a moon chanter? Cause she had horns. I mean, it's I'm gonna guess it's a moon chanter. And apparently this was part of Rot Wang's plans. And the World Quest Sword, did you read it? Oh, is this supposed to give hints to that? Okay, I'll read this together with the sword then before we follow. First moon chanter. I don't know if this is this Isla? Right, so they killed him, she killed herself. So the woman failed to bear the secret that was buried in haste, her death forestalling the prophecy. Fortunately, the leaders of every generation had long prepared for a premature end of such a blessed lady. Lovia, the then archpriest, swiftly turned the lesser branch of the bloodline for spares. What? I've heard that name before in the quest. Lovia was someone Isla was very ashamed of. I think they specified what she did. Lovia, the then archpriestess, swiftly turned into a lesser branch of the bloodline for spares, but the twin sisters born of this lineage were a pale shadow of the one they were meant to replace. Okay, so wait, so it's not Isla then? They sought out the two as replacements. Hundreds of years might now have to pass before another child of sufficient purity was born. Seeing the glory of the great endeavor slip from her grasp like dissipating dew, the antler-crowned archpriestess, maddened by anguish and obsession, hatched a terrible scheme. Why wait for the thousand winds to sweep through several generations? If they were too impure, their flesh and blood were too weak to bear the radiance of pure moonlight. Did the frost moon's boon not linger faintly in all? Then let purify it. Thus, in the name of the flawless moonlight, the priestess committed an act so profane that even the mistress of the frost moon would recoil in horror at the blasphemy. Yeah, this sounds like some fucking purging shit. Okay, I can kind of get an idea why Lovia was so troublesome for Isla now. So I think then that means because of Lovia, it sounds like Lovia was in cahoots with Rot Wang then. That would like kind of make sense why this was a whole thing. They needed like a pure enough maiden to kind of house and be chosen by the powers of the Abyss / Elysium, as they like to call it so much. Okay. Interesting. So it is someone from the Scion. It is someone from the Scion, but not Isla or her sister, because they were sought to be replacements due to this maiden's death. That's what I understood, at least. So let's see. Lovia, the then archpriestess, seemed to be in cahoots with Rot Wang's plan. They needed a pure maiden to house and be chosen by the Elysium. After many generations of wait, the only candidate wanted to abandon her duty for the sake of love. Rot Wang then had the maiden's lover killed, and the maiden took her own life. This meant the process had to be delayed, and Isla, along with her sister, was sought out as replacements. Lovia, who then got impatient of waiting, did some heinous shit that likely killed many innocents. Yeah, I don't blame him. Sounds like she was off her fucking rockers. That's what Abyss would do to you. Okay, this is the goblet. An immaculate silver cup. It's all immaculate. It's all immaculate. Okay, I get it. Joyous glory of the pure. An immaculate silver cup said to have been used in the bygone rituals of the Frostmoon Scions. The modern rites have no need for such a vessel. Oh, I mean, it makes for a nice cup. How do you even hold it? How do you hold this cup? Right. I said before we read the next part, we'll read the sword. Where's the sword? Sword. And yep, it's also immaculate. Sharp silver sword that can be sliced through armor like moonlight. Oh. As you have always known, my Isla, my heart's child, my dearest, my most beloved, in our blood flows the pure silver light, and we alone are worthy to receive the grace of the Frostmoon. You shall not wed the son of an outlander, for you are destined to bear the heir to Elysium. For the people of the far north, the mistress of the Frostmoon has already spun every path in the world with her silver thread, and all things now move in step with the thread's silent dance. Those were the days before the pitch-black calamity swept through the borderlands, when the archpriestess of the far north repeated her blasphemous and misguided deeds in vain. Perhaps out of excessive devotion to the gods, or perhaps she had never believed in dead gods who had never shed their light upon the world. There was, after all, no real difference between the two. Her grandmother, who had raised her, certainly never distinguished between them. Wait. The young handmaiden, with unwavering faithfulness, carried out every last one of the venerable archpriestess' commands. She never defied that kind and gentle old grandmother, no matter how dreadful the punishments cloaked by her soft words. Whether someone's thread was to be severed by a sharp silver blade, or another singing voice must be silenced in the dead of night, all sin were born to purify the holy blood bestowed by the moon, for only by drinking crimson water could one hone absolute flawlessness. Hang on a second. Is this saying what I think it's saying? As you have always done, my Isla, my heart's child, my dearest, my most beloved. Since he has put his trust in you, use your wisdom to guide him. Set his heart on the right path and lead him to the sanctuary. The man called Solvay is nothing but a treacherous murderer, and yet he dares to seek out protection after all the wicked deeds he has committed. Right, Solvay was in that quest as well. When he comes here, you will thrust your sword through his heart from behind to sever his venomous thread. The only response the archpriestess got, as ever as always, was silence. Those accustomed to silence from their followers always wind up taking the for content. The handmaiden, selecting years of obedience, had long convinced the archpriest that all the suffering brought on by the impurity has no one's sturdy resentment in here. But of course she was the blessed one, the one destined to bear the sacred heir, of course. She understood that the sacrifices she offered up were in service of... So even the pure silver blade pierced her back, the last archpriest, far north, could not comprehend the source of betrayal. This just all feels right. Oh, Grand Malovia. She wasn't just any... Wait, then she's the person that she raised... This is the same grandma. Oh, hell. Oh, that's fucked up. Fuck. And she killed her. Wow. Okay. Okay. I'm going to conclude that Isla and that initial person, that initial maiden who took her own life after the officer was killed, these are still two different people. And this whole thing is them using Isla as a replacement, trying to like convince her she's all that pure, whatever. Like it's them going through the same ritual again, but as Isla, as the maiden now. I think that's what's happening here. Shit. Okay. Isla was sought out as the replacement. Lovia tries to convince her she's chosen. But ultimately, Mr. Solovey convinces Isla of Lovia's wrongdoings, and Isla betrays her grandmother by killing her with a stab to the back. So doesn't make it any less brutal. Damn. Okay, that's dark. Then again, when has stuff in Genshin not been dark? Okay. That was a time when Frost's gentle light had long shattered like... Wait. What? Oh, it's right, because it's like repeating something. That was a time when Frost's gentle light had long shattered like a silver mirror, but when the new moon had yet to rise, the descendants of the far north could no longer hear the divine teachings of the high heavens, and they were consumed by burning wrath, just like in the days of old. No one knew how to forge the marvels the apostle of the Golden City had revealed to their ancestors. Yet the ambitions of the exiled, the ambitions of mortals, were more unyielding than even those of the gods. Should one lose the reliquary that can overnight till 10,000 acres of fertile land upon the dark, misty sea of ice, then pen wild oxen into the furrows that one may conquer the tundra inch by inch with fire, hoe, and sickle. Should one lose the arrow that can strike down the gods and even pierce that false sky, then forge the plowshare into sword and blade, and the sickle and hoe into spear and halberd, then let blood be the lantern that dispels the darkness. And should the authority of creation, gifted by the highest of angels, be broken, then one must govern the proliferation of the countless generations that follow by the cruelest primordial means remaining, that is, through law. So it must remain until blood thinned by disaster and exile is purified into holy seed. And mortal descents are born as perfect beings, fully one with the world. The perseverance and determination of all living creatures, will eventually overcome all calamity, or at least that is what they firmly believed. After all, those who have planned the future of their people rarely have to suffer the slings and arrows of their contempt. Here, drink this pure moonlight, my beloved child, my cherished child. Let it weave into your flesh and blood, so that you may too be worthy of the gods' grace. Look to the apostle of the Golden City, how he drank bitter wine and fought for the freedom of his compatriots. Like him, you must embrace this joyous pain, for from it, perfection will one day be born. The two could no longer tell what filled the ancient silver goblet, but if the kindly grandmother said so, then it must also be the will of the gods. Yes, yes, all to sculpting perfection, to fulfill a wish that had endured 1,000 years, for the sake of the prophesied Elysium and the king destined to descend upon the world. Impurity and trial had first to be transcended. Wait, so Isla and what? Isla and her sister were both used as replacements? Because they're like both present at this. Huh. I mean, that's actually all I got from this. I'm not sure what to make of the initial first part of it. Holy crown of the believer. And this was the crown of the fallen. An immaculate adornment created in imitation of the envoy of the grove's antlers. Well, I don't... Yeah, kind of looks accurate. There was a time when Frost's gentle light had long shattered like a silver mirror, but when the new moon had yet to rise, the god's ancient blessing, like a lone spark on the vast tundra, eventually flickered out. As the heavenly moon passed from the sky, the earth that could not become the moon began to wither. The great deeds miracle workers did in the years past had faded into vaporous prayers, and those prayers were now silent worries of the masses. In those crumbling moonless lights, even a holy woman of the purest blood was hard-pressed to weave the flowing light into a song that could move the world, and as her ancestors once did. No matter how fervently the ancestors of the far north once vowed to follow their departed gods, their descendants, mortals in this sublunary sphere, lived lives as fleeting as a flickering flame. In days long gone, when one could still behold holy women and archpriestesses channeling the grace of the gods, people yet believed the new moon would one day arise from the shattered light. And so, when the last glimmer of grace had faded and miracles were no longer witnessed, the line between so-called faith and so-called lies in turn grew as thin and fragile as the morning mist. Legend has it that the antler crown of the moon chanters today was a gift from the frost moon at the moment of its obliteration. The silver tree was splintered, and bereft of white branches they might find, the priesthood pleaded for new coronals. Out of pity, the mistress of the moon wove holy crowns for them out of flawless moonlight, one innate to their birth. That was why the last archpriestess chose to forge her circlet from cold, pure iron. The young Lovia was just a priestess then, one who had never once witnessed a moonlit blessing, and she dreamed that such lies, that deceive others and oneself alike, could still blind the unfaithful believers together. Decades later, when the false antler crown sank into the foul, corrupt blood, that which reflected in her eyes was still not the flawless moonlight, but the frigid night swallowed whole by her own shadow. Let me see. I assume that these last two pieces don't tell us too much, but there's some useful tidbits in here. Let's see. Upon frost. Death. The maiden made a crown of suns. Make her crown out of iron due to her non-belief in the religion of the frost moon. Okay. Now I hope I made as little mistakes as I possibly can this time.